Hey guys, welcome back. I'm very excited for today's video because I'm going to be testing out some new products. The Nomad Provence palette. This is my first time ever trying this brand. I'm so excited. The color story is beautiful. I have been waiting to try the brand, and when I saw this palette, I was like, yep, that's the one. So I just got it. I did try all the eyeshadows on my eyes and I have some thoughts. So I'm going to do a look in this video. I'm going to do the swatches at the end. And then also I did buy the new Sydney Grace brushes and I've been testing these out. So I'm going to demo these in the video as well. I have a lot of thoughts on these also. So it's going to kind of be a full face situation, but the swatches of the palette will be at the end of the video. There's a lot, so let's get started. Alrighty, here it is, the Nomad Fetes de Provence palette. I mean, this packaging is gorgeous. It's $38 and I did buy it on their website. I used an influencer coupon code for 10% off. Wow, absolutely gorgeous. Oh my gosh, I've been hearing about this brand. I'm so excited to finally try it. And it does have a mirror. Let me show you the color story. Look at the yellows, the pinks, the blues. I think this has a great combination of beautiful shades. And I do like that there's more mattes than shimmers, but I think there is a decent amount of shimmers. Really, really beautiful. So let's go ahead and do a look and then I'll do the swatches at the end. I tried it out yesterday and I definitely do have some thoughts. Now, this shade, this lavender shade called Champ de Lavande, my French is only okay. I took French for a really long time, but it's actually been a very long time, so I'm not that great anymore. Beautiful matte lavender. So I'm gonna start with that. And I already have on the MAC Painterly paint pot and put this right here. This is a thinner matte formula, but it blends very easily. But I did notice when I was using the palette yesterday that it's definitely a thinner formula, which I think works better with a coarser brush like this one. Okay. That is beautiful. Now, since I'm just gonna go ahead and use the same brush and go with this pink called Rosé. Man, I really want to go to France again. I've only been one time and it was a really long time ago. It was, I think I was only 20. Yeah, in college. That was 17 years ago. It was so wonderful though. We mostly went to Paris and I had such a great time. I went with my mom and my sister and my aunt and I loved everything about it. I mean, the sights, I got to do some shopping, the museums, the food. Beautiful. It was so beautiful. I want to go back so badly. All right. So you can see that is a light pink. So something I've noticed is also this yellow. I tried it out yesterday. They're pretty light shades. They're almost pastel, like this row here, although this one actually was more pigmented. Again, I'll show you the swatches, but that's just what I've noticed with those. Let's go ahead and do some of the darker mattes. This one, I'm not sure how to say that, so I won't try, but this is a really pretty, it's like a pinky red. Again, thinner matte formula is what I'm noticing here, but still blends well. I like it, but it's just something to note. It's not one of those like super intense high pigment formulas. So I guess it depends on what you're looking for. I don't really mind. I really do like palettes that have very high pigmentation. But not always. And I think you can do a lot of softer looks with this palette, but you've got the depth here and here to definitely make it bolder. So I'm gonna go back to the light pink, rosé. The other thing I've noticed about this formula is I do think that you could potentially over blend it. So I would say less blending for sure. Now for shimmers, this one here, Fleur de Mimosa, is just like the star of the show for me. So that's definitely the one that I want to use just to kind of put like here. Okay, I mean, the sparkle on this shade, oh my gosh. Yeah, when they showed the swatches of this palette and I saw this shadow, I was like, oh my gosh. It's amazing. It is like kind of going yellow to a little bit of green. Definitely needs a wet brush though. This one is a little on the chunky side, but I don't really mind. I've noticed that a lot of super metallic and sparkly shadows tend to be a little on the chunky side just to really get that sparkle, but using a wet brush really, really helps. Yeah, this one's just amazing. I love it. Okay, I think I do want to do a little bit of this red macaron on the outer corner too. So I'm very like lightly tapping this, and that's just kind of what I've noticed with this formula. Again, I just noticed you could potentially over blend with this formula. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. I'm gonna go back with the pink, rosé, just lightly. See, barely anything. And then I just want to put a little bit more of the matte lavender here. I love that one. Alrighty. That's all I'm gonna do for the top lid area. Now, I did buy a few of the Sydney Grace eye brushes and I did not use them. I will talk about them more at the end of the video. They're not my favorite eye brushes, unfortunately, but I really do love the face brushes. I'll give you more details on that throughout the video, but yes, so I think this palette is absolutely beautiful. I do think that the mattes are on the thinner side, so that's something to be aware of. And these shades here are pretty light. I mean, they're pretty much pastels. So yeah, but that shimmer is gorgeous. And again, I'll do swatches at the end. Alrighty, I put on face primer and this looks super weird. So I have ColourPop Flexitarian on my face here. And I thought I'd show you guys how I use it underneath foundation for a glow. So I just patted it here, here, and then on my upper lip area. And I am using, this is the Sydney Grace foundation brush. So I bought, this is their face set. It's $50. You get the large powder brush, the small powdered brush, the angled blush brush. This one, I can't remember what this one is called. This is the foundation brush. So I really like the face brushes. I think they are great quality. I have really, really enjoyed them. Again, I'll talk about the eye brushes later. The only complaint I have, I mean, look how beautiful these handles are. They are stunning. They're just not labeled on the brush. They're not engraved. And I did message Sydney Grace and I said, hey, is that something you think you would do? And they said they'd have to check with pricing, which I totally understand that this is their first time coming out with brushes. So it's obviously going to cost more to have them engraved. But personally, I would like that. Even if I wasn't a YouTuber, I like having my brushes labeled. I like to know what they are, like in case I lose it and want to buy it again, something like that. So that's just me. I do wish they were engraved, but I totally understand why they are not. But $50 for this set. They were also on sale when these brushes first came out, so I got them at a discount as well. But I do like the face brushes a lot. I think they are fantastic. So I put on ColourPop Flexitarian. I'm going to use my Yensa foundation. I haven't used this in a while and I really, really enjoy it. Just a little bit more. Let's see. This is what I do. I just kind of like put foundation on and blend from there. So I'm going with that same brush to blend this out. And I'm more of a sponge person when it comes to foundation, but lately I have really been enjoying brushes. I did buy the BK Beauty 101 brush, which I absolutely love. And then also I have one from It Cosmetics that I really, really enjoy. But this one is nice. I do. I think sometimes in the past, I used to use foundation brushes all the time, but I just felt like they were streaky. So once I moved on to sponges, then I just noticed that I wasn't getting that streaking. But I really don't think you get that with this brush. I think it's really, really, really nice. So again, the face brushes are a total win for me. All right, so concealer, I am gonna use Believe Beauty. I'm gonna put a little bit more. This one is more like a light to medium coverage concealer. So I'm gonna use this smaller brush. It's similar to the foundation brush, like a domed type thing, but it's smaller. So I've used this for concealer and I've liked it. I do like to go over a little bit with a sponge afterwards, just because, like I said, I'm definitely for concealer. I think that really helps for me anyway. But I mean, I think that really blended out nicely. So again, the face brushes, really, really fantastic. I want to do some cream products with this brush as well. So Berry M contour stick. Let's put that here. Okay. Just using some stuff that's in project pans, honestly. NYX cream blush in Nude Tude. Tap that on here. This is what I like to do when I use cream bronzer and cream blush, is just kind of like put it all on and then blend it out together. So yeah, I'm definitely enjoying this brush as well for cream products. I think it is a win for sure. You know, I think this is blending really, really nicely. So I kind of try to like blend the bronzer first and then do the blush. But wow, my hair looks crazy. I did not even realize that my hair looked like this. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was like in a hurry to try to start filming because I have like a bunch of stuff going on today. Oh my gosh. I had no idea. It's fine. Whatever. Okay, so I want to set my face. Gonna use the number 7 translucent face powder. I've actually been using this on my under eyes as well. So the large powder brush is beautiful and it's really soft, really nice. It's not too soft though, because I've noticed that I don't like a powder brush that is like really, really soft. I just think that doesn't work as well, and I will fix this. That's the part that I like to do with a sponge. So lightly setting my face, been really enjoying this face powder. And then the small powder brush, I love this for 2 different things, for setting my under eyes and then also for finishing powder. So I always like to go over this part again. And this part I do feel like I like to use a sponge for the final blend of the concealer and then like this upper part of the cream blush and cream bronzer area before I set my under eyes. So yeah, I like to make sure I reblend my concealer right before setting it. I have enjoyed this powder though for setting my under eyes, which really surprised me because in the past I've been so picky about powders to set the under eye. But yeah, see, I feel like there's a bit of a white cast with this powder. I said that in another video, but I'm just gonna try to blend that away. But I do feel like I need a decent amount to really set my concealer and also keep my bottom mascara from like smudging there. All right, so I'm gonna do a tiny bit of bronzer, powder bronzer, and I do like this brush for powder bronzer as well. I have used it for that, and I think it's nice. I'm not doing a whole lot because I already have on the cream bronzer. Alrighty, then I'm gonna use the blush brush, which is an angled blush brush, and I really like that. Again, like look how cool these handles are. Really, really awesome. I'm gonna use my Sigma blush in Nymphea. This is in my Shop My Stash right now. And I think this is a really good blush brush. I'm pretty picky actually about blush brushes. I definitely prefer angled ones. I know there's other styles of blush brushes, but I feel like I have to use an angled brush. I can't figure it out any other way. And I've noticed for this one, I get better results if I go up like this and keep it at this angle versus like this, which is what I often do with other angled blush brushes. Why is that so hard to say? Blush brush. That is difficult. I like a lot of blush though, so beware. I'm still adding some. This color is beautiful though. So this is a win. I didn't buy a brush that I could use for highlighter, so I'm just gonna use the one that I always use, which is Morphe M501, and using this highlighter. It's also from Morphe, which I haven't bought from this brand in however long, but I'm trying to pan this highlighter, so wish me luck on that one. And as I mentioned, the same brush that I used for the under eye, which is the small powder brush, I really do enjoy this for finishing powder as well. And if I were to use it for both, like today, I would obviously wash it before the next time I used it because I'm getting shimmer on this and I don't want shimmer on my under eye. I wash my brushes a lot. I wash my brushes almost every day. I know that seems maybe extreme, but it's also easier because if in one day I'm just using like 6 brushes, I'll just wash them that night and then they're clean for the next morning. I just really don't want to like break out and get clogged pores. And also I've just noticed that my makeup looks better when my brushes are clean. I clean them with either hand soap or dish soap, and I've been doing that for like 12 years and it just works for me. So yeah, I wash my brushes almost every day. Not as much like a face powder one like this, these bigger ones. I probably only wash these once or twice a week just because they take a little while to dry. Like a denser brush like that sometimes takes like a day and a half to dry. But these smaller brushes like this, and definitely my eyeshadow brushes, I wash pretty much every day. Okay, I will finish my makeup. I will be back and then I'll give you final thoughts on the brushes, and then I also need to swatch this palette. Alrighty, final look. I really do like how this turned out, and I used this shade on the lower lash line and then this duochrome on the inner corner. Very pretty. Okay, let's start swatching this palette. Oh, I just realized there's like shimmeriness on the back of my hand. That might be a problem. Alrighty, here we go. That's the light matte pink. This is a really pretty like peachy shade. The light yellow, that one's pretty light. And then the lavender. So these are pretty light. Be aware, like I said, and you could see that, I mean, on my eyes, these are definitely more pastels, which actually is kind of exciting for me because I don't really have any pastels in my collection. And I had wanted to get that BH Cosmetics pastel palette, but it was always sold out. This shade is a really pretty, almost like indigo type blue. That one's called Côte d'Azur. So yeah, that is the top row. Now let's swatch the middle row, which is the shimmers. I do like that they have more mattes than shimmers though. That's pretty cool. Okay, here is the middle row. This is that duochrome type shade, kind of pink to purple, that I put on the inner corner. This one's called Navette. This is like a light gold, and then this is that gorgeous yellow that I'm wearing. That one's called Fleur de Mimosa. And then we have a purple shimmer, Savon de Marseille. And then the last one, I swatched that one kind of weird. There it is. That is Bouche de Rhône. That one is a really cool, like silverish blue. So I think that the shimmers are beautiful. Absolutely stunning. I like that you've got a lot of sparkle, some duochrome. I like that on the inner corner. So yeah, the shimmers are definitely a big hit. All right, and here is the bottom row of the mattes. You've got this like more pinky one, this more red. This mustardy yellow is so pretty. And this taupey purple. And then this one's like a very, very dark grayish blue. So it's interesting because you can kind of tell this is like the light pastel row. And then these are very similar shades, but these are the bolder colors. So they're very similar. You can kind of see like the theme going across. I really like that. I think this is a well thought out palette, and I definitely think that it makes sense, like with the theme, Provence, like the shade names, obviously those are amazing and they make sense with the palette. So it's actually, I think this is really unique to my collection because you have this more pastel row, which again, I do not have many pastels in my collection. The shimmers are stunning. And I do really like this more intense matte row here, because I'm definitely someone who I'm more likely to wear intense colors like this than I am pastels. But I like having the option, which is why I never bought a full pastel palette, because I just know for me that's not something I'd wear a lot. I'm more likely to go a bit bolder, but I do think this eye look is really, really pretty. I do want to do an eye look though where I use more of the darker shades. And this one, yeah, the Miel de Lavande. That, oh my gosh, that matches my nail polish. I'm wearing What's Up Nails in Bear Trap. I always list my nail polish in the description box. Wow, those are so similar. Ha ha ha. Which Bear Trap, honey, you get it. I really like it. So final thoughts on the palette. I think the price point is great. Be aware that it's a thinner matte formula, blends easily, but could be over blended. That's what I've noticed. I love the shimmers. I particularly love the darker mattes, and it's kind of nice to have this pastel row here, but not have a full pastel palette that personally I would not use that much. So great palette for sure. I just think it depends on what you're looking for. If you want a super bold, colorful palette, like this is not it. For sure, if you're looking for something bolder, like no, that's not what this palette is. It's much lighter, it's softer, but I think it goes with the theme, and I'm happy that I bought this, and it's something different for my collection. Okay, let me talk about the brushes. So like I said, I just don't love the Sydney Grace eye brushes. Unfortunately, I have one of their eyeshadow palettes and it's amazing and I want to try more. These just didn't really work out for me. So I bought 3 and these are $8 to $10. This one honestly confused me. So this was called the large shader brush, and it's very, very small for me, for what I like for a more shader brush. Like, let me show you the one that I used for today's look. This is from an Urban Decay palette. Look at the size difference. And I have small lid space, but this is the type of shader brush that I like to do like shimmers or just like a matte all over the lid. So I was just surprised. I just think for me it's too small, but I could use it for the lower lash line, but it's also like very thin. I like something a bit on the thicker side for that. That will blend that out a bit better. So I could try it for inner corner, but I just usually use my pinky for inner corner. That's just me. These are the large and medium blending brushes. And unfortunately, these just don't work for me. I think that they're too soft, and I've tried it with a bunch of different formulas. That's why I wanted to take my time before I reviewed these brushes, because I've been testing them out for like 3 weeks, and I've tried these with a bunch of different formulas. I tried them with Blend Bunny, Natasha Denona, all sorts of stuff. Actually, I should try them with the Sydney Grace palette I have. I didn't do that. I should have done that. I just think they're too soft for mattes, and I feel like my eyeshadow ends up a little bit patchy. So that's my issue with these. I just think that they're too soft and the eyeshadow just doesn't really blend the way I want it. I like a brush that's just a bit rougher for eyeshadow, particularly with lighter mattes. So these two just really, it didn't work out for me. It's not my preference, but if you like those really soft eyeshadow brushes, then I do think you would like these. Now, like I said, the face brushes are amazing. The foundation brush, I loved using this for foundation and for cream products. The large powder brush, beautiful for face powder all over and also great for bronzer. This one that I used for concealer, I think is really nice. And I'm not even someone who usually uses brushes for concealer. This one, the small powder, I think this is my favorite. If I had to just pick one, this is it, because it's the perfect shape for the under eye and also works really, really well for finishing powder. So this is definitely hands down my favorite out of all the brushes. And then I do really like the blush brush. I think it like works really well here. Yeah, blends really nicely. Absolutely beautiful handles. I do wish they were actually labeled. I did message Sydney Grace, and they are supposed to come with like a little covering that had the labels on it. Mine didn't have that, I don't think, but I don't keep stuff like that anyway. So like I would want it on the brush, but that's just me. And I totally get that that was a cost issue for them. And you know, I mean, they said that they would do that if it's something they could afford to do. So I totally understand, but I love the face brushes. The eyeshadow brushes just didn't work out for my preference. But yeah, that is it for this video. I feel like this video was really, really long, but I had a lot to say. So let us know, did you buy the Nomad palette? Are there other Nomad palettes that you love? Did you buy the Sydney Grace brushes? They are having their Christmas in July sale, and I really do want to buy another one of their palettes. So yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.